morning.
Good morning. Here we are again on a wonderful Tuesday AM. Cheers to
I forgot my cup.
everybody. Cheers. Anyways, we are back for another wonderful sewing experience. Today we are going to look at half square triangles.
You know I love a good half square triangle.
I think it's one of the fun things that we have, right? Okay, so what took us down this road, you ask?
Well, I think we went down the Rainbow Road, Sandy.
I think we did too. We had a pattern from Villa Rosa called Rainbow Road. And this pattern and the kit that, smacked myself right in the face, kit that we have available is all dealing with half square triangles.
Yep.
So Chelsea's a really good research assistant here, and she researched some ways that we could make half square triangles of many different sizes, and
Yep.
not only 2 at a time, but
4 at a time, 8
8
at a time, and 16 at a time. Because who wants to sit there and waste time?
1 at a time,
Oh,
one at a time,
gosh,
1 at a time.
I do not have time for that. I have too many projects to do.
I agree. So we have got some really cute little tips for you today. So of course you're going to need a rotary cutter. You're going to need a ruler, and you're going to need something to square up our half square triangles and make them the right size. Sorry, I
can't
put
reach
those
these ones.
way far away.
Sandy, you forgot how short my arms
Yeah.
are. So we have squares of many sizes.
Mhm.
My recommendation when you're squaring up half square triangles, in order to not square up the wrong size, is to get a ruler that might be the right size for your project, or a bias square that has very simple lines,
Mhm.
and a roll of tape can be handy too, especially if you're trying to trim up a lot of half square triangles. You don't want to know why I know this, but we all learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, the 2.5 ended up being 2 in the end instead of 2.5. So
We might
yeah.
have 8-inch squares instead of 10. You know,
Oh, that was
that
best
was
of
a-
intentions.
tape might have helped us.
That might have helped us. Sandy was having fun yesterday, so
I
instead
think
of
they're perfect.
yeah, so what we do is we start off with 2 squares of the size that you need. These ones just so happen to be 8-inch squares because we thought you might be able to see them better, and we can demonstrate as well our 4 different ways of doing them.
Yeah.
So what we do with them, are you ready to get beginning of all of this?
I am so ready.
Okay.
Hopefully
All
we
right.
remember how to make all of these.
All right, so I'm going to turn it on to the top camera so you can see our 2 blocks. And the first thing we're going to do is to mark for this one, cutting 2 half square triangles, is to mark it on the diagonal.
Yeah.
And we were playing a little bit with different colored markers. We have 2 Clover chalk markers today. We have pink and yellow, and we found for our project the yellow shows you best in the camera. Now, of course, you will select a marker that is color with your fabric so that you can actually see the mark, because we're going to be sewing not on the mark but on either side of the mark, and we need to be able to see it. So the first thing we do for 2 half square triangles is to mark the diagonal. All right, and then we're going to flip over here, show you my beautiful Bernina 535 that we're working with today. This one has scissors, so it will cut at the end. I can knot it if I like. It has needle down, and we are using the 1/4-inch piecing foot. All right, so we are going to line up the edge of that 1/4-inch piecing foot on the edge of our line that Chelsea just drew for us. I'm going to try and find my pedal here that is snuck away underneath the table. Sorry, it got stuck underneath the stool.
It's hiding.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go. So Chelsea says I sew like a turtle, which is
That's okay. We all sew on our own speed,
yeah,
Sandy.
sew at your own rate.
I sew like a
Okay.
speed demon, but mine are not straight lines.
All right, so we're just sewing a 1/4-inch on either side of that beautiful yellow line that we have made. And I guess I could try to speed up a little bit.
No, that's perfect.
Okay, perfect speed.
I like it.
All right, good. We're going to get to the end. You know, we made a lot of these half square triangles when I was making flying geese with everybody. So you remember that we did make these half square triangles, and then we put them together, not as half squares, but we put the two half squares together to make a flying geese.
Yes.
Goose. I guess it was a goose, not a geese. Anyways, here we go. One more side here. I really like the Bernina because it allows me to start off the edge of the fabric, and it still grabs that edge and doesn't suck it down the little
Oh, that's fabulous.
plate. So I really like that in the Bernina. It's a very steady, sturdy machine. It doesn't do anything unexpected, which is good because nobody needs anything weird to happen when you sew. And as I say, I really like the fact this one has scissors.
That is nice.
Perfect, even. Okay, beautiful. Let's have just a quick
right.
close up. So you'll see that I have sewn on both sides of that line.
Beautiful,
All right.
Sandy.
Okay,
Those
now
are
I'm gonna-
so straight.
Oh, thank you. She's such a nice girl. All right, so I'm going to give you back to top so Chelsea can cut our half square triangles for us.
So I'm just going to line up right on that line we drew
Okay,
and chop along.
chop along. Chop, 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 chop. And it always helps to have a nice, nice sharp rotary blade when you're doing it.
Oh,
Isn't
yes.
that lovely? So there's our first two half square triangles. So if we open them up, woohoo, look at that.
And now when we go to press them, we have to be gentle.
Okay, being
Because
gentle.
this is bias. And
Ooh.
bias means stretchy.
It means stretchy. Okay, so
So,
we're going to be very careful.
bring
And
it
we'll
over
let
here.
Chelsea show you how to press it. So we press the seam first.
Yeah, we'll set our seam because
Mhm.
everybody likes a set seam.
We do. We like set seams. All right.
Just-
Good job.
All right,
All
and
right.
then I'm just going to gently lift it up. I'm just going to get in there with my iron and
And-
gently get it over.
Sweet. And you'll notice then we have actually pressed to the dark side. Ooh, we went to the dark
Yeah.
side.
I'm going to take it one step up though because I learned a tip from Barb
Okay,
one day.
good.
And well, I learned many tips from Barb. But when she likes to quilt, she actually likes to press all of her seams open.
Okay, so we press to the dark and then we open.
And then when we get to trimming, our ruler
Ah,
is going to sit nice and flat on
and
this.
snug to it so we don't have to worry. All right, so that's
Yeah.
a great pressing tip. Very timely pressing tip.
I was making a whole bunch of half square triangles for that
Our
mountain foot.
Iron gone off on us?
No, it's on.
No, it's good. Okay.
I think it just doesn't have a light sometimes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on again. All right.
All right, there
There we
it
go.
is. There's our
And-
beautiful little half square triangle.
If you want to make this really flat, you could get a clapper on there.
Clapper, or use some of that lovely flatter or best
Yes.
press just to make it nice
Flatter.
and flat.
Best press is nice. I'm just going to
Okay. Now
smooth
we
that
are
down.
going to now trim our half square triangle to the size that you would like it to be.
And for this one, I'm going to use the bias square. Now, it might be hard to see. Let's just move this iron so I don't wind up hitting it over. the
yeah, we don't
table.
want any burnt arms.
I would
Okay.
totally just knock it off. So on my bias square, it's important on your square rulers that you have a 45-degree line.
Yeah, the diagonal, it has to be marked because
Yes.
this is the way we square it up with the seam that we just did.
Yeah, so I'll line up my line on my 45 right along here.
Mhm.
So for my first cut, all I'm going to worry about is getting a 90-degree corner.
Mhm.
Because when I cut this, I kind of willy-nilly'd it. So we'll just line that up.
Okay, she didn't do the cutting I did, so I was the willy-nilly on that one. I went willy-nilly.
That's
And
okay.
sometimes when you
Oops.
make squares, you willy-nilly and you end up with a little bit one larger than the other. And this way
That's okay.
we had started with a square larger than what we needed, and now we can trim it down perfectly to be
Totally. And that's the way I love doing half square triangles.
Okay.
And if you're a ruler slipper like me, I would recommend putting Grippy or some
Oh.
of the tape on the back.
Very good idea. Another wonderful tip.
You might have
Chelsea.
noticed I slipped it while I was
Tips.
cutting, but
Yep.
it was fine. I slipped it after.
Tips by
And
Chelsea.
so now this is my corner I squared up.
So we're actually taking our 8-inch block and making it 7 inches, right? Are we? Okay.
And I might have cut it not so straight. Let's see how straight I cut it with my ruler slipping.
That looks pretty good, Chelsea.
Yeah, actually,
It
that's
looks
not
really,
too
really
bad.
good.
So we'll
So we're doing it this way. Chelsea's left-handed, so and ambidextrous, so she can cut both directions, and that way we don't clank on elbows or anything, and we can get a nice smooth cut.
alternatively, you
That-
can use a rotating mat, and I kind of missed my corner a bit.
Not too bad at all.
But now
Looks
we have
lovely.
a nice square, half square triangle.
I love it. And so now we have 2. Now, if we had completed the second one, this is where I made the flying geese.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So when you open this one up, I then put the 2 flying geese, the blue parts together, and you have a flying geese.
That's beautiful,
Is that
Sandy.
fun? Yeah.
We can make so many of
Yep,
those.
you can make lots of things out of the 2.5. Okay, now Chelsea, we're moving on, aren't we? We're going to now take another set of squares.
Yes, now we're going to do 4 at a time. We're just going to keep working up and multiplying.
Okay, so we did 2. We're on to 4.
So on this one, I don't have to do any marking.
Okay.
My friend Sandy has to do most of the work. this
Okay, I'm
time.
doing all the work. Okay, what am I doing
So
first?
on this one, Sandy is going to sew along the whole perimeter 1/4 of an inch in.
Okay.
And then the cutting is where the magic is going to happen.
Ooh, we like magic. Okay, going over to the close-up over here to the lovely Bernina, and we are going to find that 1/4 inch on our foot. Okay, there we are, right on the edge. I think maybe we should knot it to start. Okay, here we go. It's gonna knot. Beautiful. And now we're heading to the home stretch down the 1/4. This is a 1/4 mile. Look at us go.
That's perfect.
There we go.
Sandy, you might sew the straightest seams of anybody I know.
Well, okay, that is a very nice compliment, and I have to learn how to take compliments and say thank you very much.
You're so welcome, Sandy.
But that was very sweet of you. But she doesn't see all my work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but you're sewing live and you're sewing straight. That's
All right,
pretty
let's give
good.
us another knot there to get us started. All right, and away we go. Now, you can see that Sandy didn't quite make her squares exactly the same. So I'm just stitching to the outside of the one that is the nicest. I'm so funny, aren't I?
It's perfect. I like it.
Okay, the good thing about all of this is that it's in the seam.
Yes, this is true. And we're
So-
using white thread on our nice dark fabrics, of course, just so you can see it.
Just hoping you can see what we're doing. Makes it a little easier.
Sandy, we have a question
Okay, what's
on
our
our
question?
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to set the seam? I have heard lately, and I don't understand why we do that.
What it does is it sets the thread and the fabric so that the thread will then lay flat. Because
Oh.
sometimes we might have pulled it, we might have squeezed it a little bumpy and rocky. We want to make sure that stitch is down nice and flat, so we don't lose anything in our turns as we turn our fabric to make the squares or blocks or whatever we're using. It's just a little trick that one of our quilting first class teachers taught us. It just makes it easier to then cut, lay together, and when they are put together in blocks, they match up nicely. But yes, we want to make sure that seam is nice and flat. It's set in there. It's not going to come apart. Okay,
On this next
that's my funny
trim,
story.
I'm going to use the rotating feature of our mat.
Ooh, I like that. So we do have a rotating mat, and it will come in handy for this. Okay, I'm changing cameras over, so Chelsea's got you at the top,
Okay.
and
I'm gonna
there's
Practice
our
rotate,
okay.
make sure I have enough room and I won't bump. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Okay,
We'll put our square nice in the center.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut from corner to corner.
okay,
I'm going to rotate and corner to corner.
beautiful.
And
Okay.
that will make us 4.
Woo! That is so cool. I really like this. Chelsea, I'm just really impressed.
And gentle when we lift our ruler. And ooh, we slid apart a little bit. I'm going to put those together. We're going to rotate.
Rotating. Good. So we have not disturbed our squares. We're keeping them nice and even.
The square might be not be disturbed, but I might be sad.
Okay, well, I often say, well, you know what? People say, well, are you off? And I say, yeah, just a slightly off center. So, yep, we're off. Okay, that's looking really good. So now we have 4 of them. That is marvelous. Okay, so we treat these the same as we would the last set. We're going to set the seam. We're going to press it to the dark side.
And we'll
then
see
we'll open
the
this
size.
and we'll find out what size it turned out to be. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Just keep shifting all my goodies over here. Angela says, thank you very much for the information.
Oh, you're welcome, Angela. Very nice of you to tune in. And thanks for everybody who has tuned in. And you can see us on Facebook and YouTube, usually Monday to Fridays at 10:30. Now, exceptions do happen. Like last Friday, we were off to Heritage Park for the quilt show. So we came live at 4:15. So, but most of the times we will be on at 10:30 in the morning. And I have to say that we did have a lovely quilt show. Weather was a little iffy on days, but people,
Heritage Park did a great job bringing all the quilts in.
they handle the quilt so well and with a lot of loving care. So if you put a quilt in, you don't have to worry. They treat it with great respect. And we had lots of people that I hadn't seen for a while drop by the booth, which was kind of fun. All right, so here's our first quarter square now. Isn't that adorable? So what size kind of did it turn out to be?
Let's see. I'm going to bring out a smaller ruler because I just need to use all the rulers on the table.
Yeah, just for fun. Okay.
I don't know if I'm alone in that boat, but I really like using all the rulers.
Okay, sounds good to me.
And this
So
ruler is cool, actually. I didn't notice this, but
it's got,
it numbers from both sides, and I like that. And I like
Yes.
how it doesn't have that extra half inch.
okay, so
So-
that's an OmniGrid rib.
Yeah, for
Okay.
a lefty,
Yeah.
not having that extra half inch hanging off the side,
Oh,
it doesn't mess up my
it
cut.
does not fool you. Okay, and this is a 6-inch square that we've got. We have the diagonals
Yeah.
marked.
And it's 5 inches right now, it
Okay,
looks like.
so it looks
So
like
I'm
we're-
going to trim it down to, well, it's 5 1/4, I'd say.
Okay, so
I'll
we're
trim
going to
it
go
down
to
to
5.
5.
Okay, perfect. So we don't have to take too much off this little guy to make him just right. I forgot to bring our sheets with us to tell you how much to add to the blocks. Chelsea's really good, as I say, at research, and she did find out all this stuff, and then I left it out at the front counter.
It's
so
okay. I
that's
also
good.
left it, Sandy.
But I think I remember that for cutting the blocks, I know that if you're doing half square triangles, you want blocks, you need to have at least 7/8 inch bigger squares than what you want to cut.
Yeah, if you're doing 2 at a time.
2 at a time. So I do know that. I remember that. Okay, so let's compare.
I'm totally using my mug as a scrap holder
I like
right
that's
now.
a good idea. So look
how
at that. With the
cute
same
they are.
block, we get 2 of these and we'll get 4 of those.
Fantastic.
All right, are you ready
Okay.
for the next one?
So that's our 2 and that's our 4.
Okay, this
Let's
is
go
beautiful.
on to 8 at a
8
time.
at a time. Okay, so Chelsea, here's our 2 sets of blocks, and we put them right sides together. If I forgot to tell you that loveliness,
Oh,
2 sides
yes.
together.
We're using batiks.
Yeah.
So
So you may not
These
be able to
ones-
tell.
don't have right sides, but
Yeah,
they're perfect.
they're perfect. That
Makes
way,
it less
even
room
if-
for error.
even if you flip one, it's not going to show, which is great. But if you're using ones that are obvious, make sure you put right sides together as we work.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So on this one, Sandy's going to stitch 4 lines, and I'm
Okay.
going to draw 2, but I'm going to cut a lot.
okay, yeah, I like that. She gets to cut. She's a real cut up.
I have a cheat sheet. You might see it over here.
Okay. Yes, we did some examining to how to do these, which is kind of fun. That was our research project this week. So finding out how we do these.
So we're going to mark corner to corner.
So we're marking the diagonals, and I'm going to sew on either side of that line. Is that what I'm doing, Chelsea?
On both of them, yeah.
Okay.
So you'll sew 1/4 inch away
Gonna sew.
from
sew.
each line here.
Okay.
So you'll sew 2 lines.
Okay.
Do. And
then
two
two lines. Okay. All right. She's got me back in business. All right. Let's do our close-up so you can see. All right. And as usual, there is that lovely 1/4 inch line. There's my foot on the edge. And I got stuck under the stool again. That little foot migrates. So if you have something to put under your foot pedal, it certainly holds it in place a little better. And there we go. Stitchy, stitchy, stitchy.
So I heard this way of doing it is Betty's favorite way. Is 8
Oh,
at a
okay.
time.
Sweet. So, yeah, and Betty, if anybody knows about half square triangles, I think Betty's probably
She
the
makes a lot of
expert.
them.
She does. She is a great quilter. And we all try to be Betty.
I saw an interesting thing for you to do here, Sandy.
Okay.
On the next one, if you don't cut it in between, I heard you can just lift your foot and rotate your square.
Okay, okay.
Which
I'll
we'll
finish-
try it on the next one.
Okay, I'll finish this one and then we'll give that a great try. Gee, that Chelsea is full of great tips for us.
I just like my good friend Google.
Okay, Google.
And I
Google
love
is
chatting
amazing.
with other sewers, of course.
Oh yes, because other quilters, sewers are great source of information, and it's always wonderful too when our customers bring in their projects to show us, because then we can see what they've done and we can ask those very important questions like, how did you do that? Which is kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to go down this edge and I'm not going to cut it when I hit the end. I'm just going to pull it and rotate it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here we go.
And if
Away
you're
to
doing
the
a whole
races.
bunch of these, you could be chain piecing
You
too,
could, so
but
you
we're
could-
only doing.
Yeah, we're just doing one at a time, and I'm kind of off my line on that a little bit, Chelsea.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's in the seam allowance.
Okay, that's true.
I'm not
I
too
won't-
worried.
That and the color of the marking, don't worry, because it's going to be hidden and nobody's going to see it. We're not marking the right sides. We're doing the wrong sides.
My favorite way to mark half square triangles is actually with a friction pen. It's my favorite way. I find it very accurate.
Okay, I may have
But on
needed to
this-
go just a little bit more, Chelsea. Just a little bit more of
okay.
a chain. Okay, there we go. It didn't quite, it's kind of like the surgery. You need to go just a little bit more, so we've got a little bit of a end to wiggle around on. There we
How'd you
go.
like that rotation
That
versus
was kind of cool.
kind of fun, hey?
Kind of fun. I liked it.
Okay, now let's
Alright.
hope I don't wiggle on this one because I have 4 cuts to make.
Okay, and I just want, I think your cuts are good. It's just whether we got a little bit of sewing bubble or not. I don't know. So-
I think it's gonna
It's
iron
gonna
out
be
when we
okay?
set our seams.
All right, perfect.
That's
All
my
right.
vote.
I'm with Chelsea on that. She gets my vote. Okay, here we go. All right, here you go, Chelsea. I'm sending it over to you.
And Betty told me a trick here.
Okay.
So we're going to cut north to south, east to west, and then we're going to cut on those lines we
On the
made.
diagonals. Okay. All right. So let's do it.
Cool, eh?
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, so I'm going to put that in the center. And I'm going to move this over
Yeah.
so I can fully rotate.
Okay. Fully rotated. Make
over.
sure
There we
everybody's
go.
there. Okay.
Okay. So
So you line it up along the bottom edge, I gather. The side edges make that square, right? And then find that center point and
I'll try not to shift anything.
ooh, smooth.
Okay. Lift up our ruler without shifting
Yep.
our work and we'll rotate.
Okay,
So this is
that was the-
saving us cutting.
Yeah, so that was north to south, and if we can rotate, then you can do another north to south. But
Yep.
it would be east to west if we didn't rotate, and you twisted your arms around.
I'm just lining up as best as I can.
Okay, sweet girl.
I'm using Sandy's little points here in the stitches to kind of guide where my center is.
Good, beautiful. Okay, so now we've got north, south, east, west. Now we have to do all the diagonals.
Now, since nothing's moved yet,
Whew.
I'm also going to cut these ones.
Okay, so very carefully right
And
down the center.
if they shift at this point, that's okay. I'll just use the lines we drew.
You could just cut them separately if necessary. But look at that, smooth as silk.
It's that brand new blade, I think.
Ooh, I like it. That and a rotating mat.
The rotating mat is beautiful
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not being a contortionist.
Yes.
I think makes a huge difference.
Well, that's right, because you can get a straight on cut each time. Oh, fabulous.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for this
I'm
one to
ready for the
split?
unveiling.
Okay.
This is really cool.
So that was our north to south and east to west cuts.
Okay.
Doop, doop. And now,
Oh, look at that.
isn't that cool?
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Chelsea.
Sandy! Sandy!
All right.
All right,
That is
let's
magnificent.
iron this guy
Okay.
out.
And then we can do a
will
little bit
see.
of a size thing and see how they all turned out. Ooh, I can't wait. I'm going to take these and I'm going to make something out of them.
I think you definitely should.
I think we should.
That'll be
It'll
really
kind of fun.
We can trim them down further if
Yeah.
they don't work in the project that we wind up finding.
That's right, because you now that you've got the triangle, you can, with your ruler with the diagonal on the bias too, that you can figure out what size you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, this is so cool. I'll move these out of the way for a sec. Just set those up there. Chelsea's doing our lovely pressing.
I
Don't
might
burn,
need
honey.
to give that dog hair a little bit of love
A little bit of love. He needs a little love.
because it still has a little bit of a stitch in it. So
Oh, okay. Is that where I made this go around the corner one?
I think it's from one of them
One of them. Yeah.
colliding into the
Colliding
other.
other. Oh,
I think
there I
it
go.
would happen no matter what though on
Okay.
that one, just because of how we're cutting it.
We had to have so many
All right.
stitches. Okay.
So let's trim this guy up.
Unfortunately, oh,
Use this
do I have a smaller ruler? But it's got a thing on it you might not be able to see.
That's okay. We'll use this one.
Okay. All right.
This one's perfect.
Unfortunately, I didn't have any smaller ruler at home to bring, but we have lots here at the store if you want to get a smaller ruler. Yeah, we have at the store, we have 3.5, 4, 6.5, 8.5, and then we have a value pack that has a 6.5, 8.5, and a 10.5. So you can make as many half square or triangles as you would like in many different sizes. So those are available at this store.
I think this one's going to be a 3 1/4.
3 1/4. Okay, we like it. So that's one good reason why you make your block just a little bit bigger than the one that you want finished, because then you can trim it down and make it perfect.
So cute.
Is that a cute?
Okay,
so that's
where's our
him.
friends now?
There's our friends so far. So we have 2, 4, 8.
It's so
Just
cute.
so cute.
This is going to be so adorable because the next one we're doing is 16. And now we have already marked and sewn that one.
Because we just needed to do it. So what we did on that one was to do the north, south, east, west, both sides, and sewed on each side. So we have lines on each of those. Then we did like we did for the number 4. We went all the way around the outside. Now the magic is Chelsea's cutting. Let's see if she can get a 16. Okay.
Where's my picture?
Oh, here's our picture.
Okay, I have my
Chelsea's-
picture.
Okay, she's ready to
Hopefully it
go,
helps.
folks. Here we go. 16
All
half
right.
square triangles.
Let's see if we can do this
The challenge is on, Chelsea.
challenge.
Challenge
Okay.
accepted, she
So the
says.
first one is midpoint to midpoint.
Ah, okay, so we're doing a diagonal on the little squares. Cool.
And we're going to do that all the way around.
Okay, so we're doing...
Might not have moved that yet.
Very fascinating, Chelsea.
It's quite fun. I haven't done a 16 at a time yet.
So this is the new one.
This is my very first time cutting this.
I love it. That is so cool. Okay, we just keep rotating and rotating. So we're cutting the first sets of our lines from stitch line to stitch line through the open triangle.
I'm just lifting my ruler up very carefully so I don't shift anything.
We don't
Looks
disturb.
like that one might have shifted, but that's okay. We put it
We'll-
right back.
We'll put it back and make sure we go again.
And this one, you know, I would add a little bit extra to the original block to make
Mhm.
sure that I'm not.
We can square everything up just right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
All
did
right.
the little diagonals. Now what are we going to do, Chelsea?
I am going to do corner
To
to
corner.
corner to and
Corner.
these corners.
Okay, so that will be the big diagonals this time. Wow.
Yes, this is where we're cutting.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like, wait
yeah.
a second.
Wait a second now. Where are we at? Okay.
And then we just have to do north and south, east and west.
Okay, perfect. Oh, this is so exciting. Didn't know I could get so excited about half square. I've always been saying half scared. They're scared. I'm a little scared on this one. Half square triangles.
It's okay, Sandy. I'm feeling confident-ish
Ish, perfect.
on
I
our
have
first
Great confidence.
16 at a time.
16 at a time. That's for those little quilts that have all those little mini half square triangles in there that you got to match up. So this is perfect.
All right.
So is that all the cuts?
I think so.
Okay.
Are you ready to see if
yeah.
we get
If we
16?
get 16, I love it.
Okay. 1,
Mhm.
2, 3, 4.
Oh, I have good faith in you now.
Me too. Now that I
Seven,
saw 4 come out.
8. Yeah, we got 8. Oh, we're doing good. Look at us go.
We did it, Sandy. And they all have a theme on them.
Yeah,
So
they're all
that's
seams.
good news.
That's good news. We didn't miss a line. I love it. Okay, so should we trim up just one little one?
Yes,
and then
I think we
can
definitely
we
should.
can show all of our sizes of our half square triangles, all out of the same
We'll do this.
8-inch block. So that was really cool.
Just going to take a little seam out of here
Okay,
because, you know, nature of
of the beast.
sewing a whole bunch of lines, we'll probably get a seam
I
somewhere.
am so impressed. I am so impressed.
Me too. That was fun.
That was really cool. Turned out excellent. Okay. Get our little buddies here.
These ones are so cute.
They're adorable.
Luann says, this is just the wildest thing.
It is, isn't it? Oh my goodness. When I told you we were wild and wacky girls, we really are. That is so fun.
It's very fun.
Very fun. Okay, so what size is this one going to turn out to be?
All right, let's see.
Let's do a little measuring and a little trimming up. Okay, as I say, I wish we had smaller ruler, but that's all I had at home. So
That was perfect. Because I forgot my smaller rulers.
I'm sure I have a smaller one. Okay, I don't want to admit the shape of my sewing area at this moment. Finding them is always a challenge.
You know what I did, which I really love, for all my rulers, is I put command hooks on my wall.
That's a really good idea for organizing. Oh, bless you.
Excuse me.
Bill,
Little
bless you,
sneeze
Charlie.
there.
Yep, little sneeze. Okay.
So I think we're gonna get 2 1/4 because I'm not into 2 3/8.
Okay, so 2 1/4. All right, that's a good sized little guy. So you can get 16 out of those out of one 8-inch block. Amazing. All right, are you ready?
Oh
Let's
my
have
gosh.
the final reveal.
That is so
So
adorable. Okay,
We cut
so we have
two.
the baby,
We have the baby. We have his next
his brother.
his brother and his bigger brother,
We have Mama.
mama, and then daddy maybe. Look at the size of those. Aren't those just adorable?
And those are all out of an 8-inch block. So
8-inch
those
block.
are 2 at a time, 4 at a time, 8 at a time, 16 at a time.
That
was fun.
Fabulous.
I had a good time saying
That was fabulous.
we nailed
You
it.
nailed it. All right. So that's really a lot of fun making half square triangles. So if you want to try that as well, I encourage you to have some fun with it. Just see how much you can make out of one block. It's
Yeah,
really
who knows?
cool.
Maybe you
And
just want to get a stack of 10-inch squares.
first and just go
Go
for
for it.
Yeah. I
Make
think
a
that's
whole table runner or a tabletop.
tabletop or something. That sounds
be really fun.
marvelous. All right, so before we sign off today, there's a couple of things that are happening at the store still. Don't forget, we still have a no GST sale.
Who wants to pay GST?
Yeah, forget that GST.
Gross.
And that's on all of the new and the gently loved used machines. So that's still going on until Friday the 31st. Also this week until the 31st, we have social sewing.
We sure do.
Yep. And I was so excited to see the tables full of people
It was so
enjoying themselves. It was awesome. It's only $10 plus tax, and you get a coupon back for $10 plus tax to buy something with. So it's really
Yay.
good. You got to drop by or else phone us and book your table, and I think you'll have a marvelous time. Bring a friend or two. Also, this week, carrying on with our Facebook and YouTube, we have Wacky Wednesday tomorrow. And of course, we've been doing wedding season. So tomorrow is something new.
I can't wait to
I
see
think that'll
what's
be
new.
fun. And then on Thursday, we have Chatting with Chelsea, and you're going to answer the question, who is Anna? And I think you'll be,
Who is
who's
she?
Anna? Ooh.
Well, she's one of our newest recruits.
Yes, new. New being the operative word. Something new, someone
Oh,
new. Yeah.
I see what you
You
did
did
there.
there, yeah.
Sandy might have said, Chelsea, you're interviewing Anna. And
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Okay, so I had ulterior
Didn't
motives.
question why.
Yeah, she's such a good girl. She's just faith in me,
Sure.
so it's wonderful. All right, and then unfortunately, there is no one here to do Facebook on Friday, so we will not be doing Facebook or YouTube on Friday.
But we will be back on Monday.
Yes, for sure. All right, well, thanks, Chelsea. That was really fun. I
Thanks,
love it.
Sandy. It was so fun. I had a great
really good.
time.
Okay.
And I learned something new.
Oh, did we ever? And I think that was so cool the way that worked out. But thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.